There is an extremely disturbing report in the Washington Post, which confirms actually exactly what we would expect from Donald Trump, which is that Donald Trump told officials he would pardon them if they break the law in order to start building that dumb, stupid border wall that he has completely failed to make any progress on. Now, you might have forgotten about this because Donald Trump lies so much and he promises so much that he's never going to do. That Donald Trump promised his supporters that he would have, by election day of 2020, built at least 500 miles of that fence or border wall. It's not going well because nothing is happening. There's been about 60 miles of border wall replaced that was old and needed to be replaced. No new wall has been built. So Donald Trump now, in an act of pre-election desperation, I guess we would call it, is directing people to break the law to make at least some of the wall happen. And he is reportedly dangling pardons in front of people in advance for crimes that they would have to commit in order to make it happen. This includes seizing private land for the wall. This includes ignoring environmental rules. It includes fast tracking billions of dollars in construction contracts that have not gone through the actual approval process. And the way that multiple officials told it to the Washington Post, Trump calls people into meetings and he tells them what they want. He says, start doing it, do what you need to do and build this damn wall. And people say, Mr. President, we can't just start doing that. Some of what you're suggesting is illegal. Some of it is politically impossible. We just really can't do it. And Trump says, start doing it. And if there are crimes, I will pardon people. Quote, don't worry, I'll pardon you. He has told officials about just starting to build the wall. Once again, the White House was asked for comment. They do not deny it. Later, Trump calls it fake news, which is a denial that is worth absolutely nothing. The most important thing is the White House asked to comment and they say, oh, it was just a joke. They don't deny that it was said. Now, I know that because we're also desensitized to the scofflaw nature of this presidency, I need to be explicit here. This would be impeachable. This is, depending on who you talk to, conspiracy to obstruct justice on a large scale. This is something that the Trumpist right will defend by saying, they all do it. Look at Obama. He ate fancy mustard and wore a tan suit. And on another day, it's every single day, it's another absolutely insane headline that would have seemed unbelievable before the Trump era. And now it doesn't even get the attention that it should because we have been so desensitized and the constant endless scandal has been so normalized that it barely makes a blip. It's getting some attention, but it's not getting nearly the attention that it deserves. Now, one thing that we're learning is that front and center, this administration has shown us there is way too much gray area about what is legal for a president to do. A lot of these academic legal questions about what are the limits of executive power. Can a sitting president be indicted or not? Does anything a president, does any action a president takes become legal by virtue of the president doing it? The infamous, if the president does it, it's not illegal. These, with some very rare exceptions like Richard Nixon, which ultimately was not tested because the guy resigned, these were academic hypotheticals. In the Trump era, these are real practical questions. And what is abundantly clear is that there's just too much gray area here. We've not had presidents before try to flaunt the audacity to stretch the limits of presidential authority and responsibility this blatantly. Now we do. And it's clear that it needs to be dealt with because he is flaunting his lawlessness on the world stage, and so far to almost no consequences whatsoever. This is an impeachable offense. It's impeachable bribery, some would call it. Again, conspiracy to obstruct justice by preemptively saying commit crimes and I'll pardon you, letting them know ahead of time. This is yet another one of these crises. And it's getting, some news coverage, and it's going to be eclipsed in the next 6 to 12 hours for sure by the next thing that happens. Things need to change, and things need to change quickly at all levels. The gray area of presidential authority needs to be made less gray. Donald Trump needs to be removed in November of 2020. This is only the beginning, and yet it is not stopping. It's getting worse every single day.